got it.
Hello, everyone. I'm just Amelia, and I'm here with my co-host
David.
Dan is running a little late today, so we decided to start without him.
Urgich. He got stuck in traffic in the kitchen on the way to the computer. So
that's literally what happened. Okay, So our first topic today is Nintendo Online Switch Plus.
Oh, we're starting with that. Okay. Okay, sounds good. So
Nintendo Switch Online is a service you pay a yearly subscription for, which allows you to play games online. And to sweeten the pot, Nintendo added a bunch of retro games from their original NES and SNES, and have since expanded it to include N64. And
that's been like that for years, though. Yeah. I mean, the whole point is they added the premium services, and people thought it was gonna be an extra $10 right now, or what it was $20 a year. It was a great deal. You get online play for what it's worth, Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. So they added the N64 and Genesis games, and then of course the Animal Crossing DLC. And the thing is gonna be like $10 more, ends up being $30 more per year. So it's a $50 per year tier, or $80 for the family. So that was not well received on YouTube. Apparently it's the most disliked video. The other bugaboo about that is that the emulation is not up to snuff. There's been people posting screenshots and videos showing how there's a delay in the input lag. The button mapping is crappy if you're using the standard Switch controllers, and all that. So it's off to an inauspicious start, to say the least, this upgrade. And some people do love it who have it, but a lot of people are hating on it pretty early.
Some other things I'm hearing is lacks a real voice chat or group organization feature. Cloud saves don't work all the time, or on all games is another thing.
If you want an online game, don't get a Nintendo Switch or anything Nintendo, because they never allow voice chat. You have to use your cell phone.
They have an app too that I used, but it doesn't really do anything. Nobody downloaded the app, so I have no one to talk to when I try to do it on there.
Nintendo is scared to death that someone somewhere might have a negative interaction on the internet, and they'll blame Nintendo.
Nintendo's more children and family oriented. They do have adult games.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So I could see them wanting to be cautious with like a group chat.
But my God,
I talk to.
I mean, Nintendo, I get their whole business model, but at some point, it's just like, let people adult themselves a little bit. I don't personally care about online gaming or chatting, because I'm not an online gamer so much, but people have a legitimate gripe about that.
This is a little different than taking the blood out of Mortal Kombat. This is, you have a bunch of 12-year-olds using a Switch, and you don't want them maybe talking to strangers on the internet.
You have a bunch of 12-year-olds using PlayStation and Xbox and PC. I mean, what's the difference?
PlayStation,
Nintendo
Xbox,
just doesn't want. They want to wash their hands of anything.
So a parent might not buy the PlayStation or Xbox if they can get their kid a Switch, which is a similar enough system.
I listen. They
don't have to worry about their kid talking to strangers on the internet. That's the sell for a family system.
I get it. Listen, and honestly, it's not. I don't really care about the voice chat. The voice chat is not even the issue here. To eat the thing, because Nintendo 64. First of all, they put Banjo-Kazooie on there, which is a Rare game. The company Rare, not Uncommon, Rare. And they went to Microsoft. So considering they were able to license that, there's hopes that they might be able to license the other N64 games like GoldenEye. Probably not. But Perfect Dark, why not? So when those kind of start coming out, and they improve it, it might be a better deal. But for now, it might not be a great deal.
One of the things I read was that there was cost so much because of the licensing, right?
Yeah,
so that's what you pay for. But you know what? If Nintendo, no one really asks for Sega emulation. They ask for GameCube. Where's GameCube? Where's Wii U? Where's where's
Well, Wii
classic
U is just
Game Boy?
releasing the games to Switch.
But like classic Game Boy would be, people would have loved
Yeah.
that on there. And that's the stuff that they could have done, and they don't have to pay themselves for licensing. But instead, they're going to like vintage Sega games, which
Yes. Well, Sega got a bad deal when they were on the virtual console back in the Wii and Wii U days. I think they pretty much held out for a better deal. And that's why it costs so much. Because Sega needs to get paid.
I think, Sega's been paid on these games enough over the past, 30 years.
Well, that's the thing about business. They want to continue being paid. Not that kind of guest. Oh, sorry. I'm reading text out loud. But the other thing too, I think the online service, I think it's great. Honestly, I do like the NES and SNES, but people like me, we have emulators and old hardware, so it's less of a draw for me. The people who will probably be more into this would be the casuals, people who don't really know about emulation, just want to rediscover their old classics. They don't care about accuracy. So maybe for them, it might $50 a year is still not a bad deal when all things considered, if you get your money's worth out of it, I guess. But yeah, I guess your mileage may vary on that. For me, I don't think it's a great deal.
I don't,
that's me.
$50 a year to get those games, that's the price. I don't like the idea that you have to pay to play games online in general, when prior systems were giving you those servers for free. And all of a sudden they tacked on a cost to it. So you want to do online gaming, you got to pay us.
Well, that's every service now except for PC.
Yeah, and none of that's right, because you think about it,
well,
spend hundreds of dollars on the system and $60 on the game, and everyone just goes, oh well, now we're going to pay to play online. It's like, well, you pay for your subscription, you pay for you've paid enough that just give them this little extra tweak so you can play Call of Duty online, that you don't have to get a subscription for it.
Yeah, but who do you think's paying for the servers?
They get their money from the $50 controllers that cost $10 to make, or from
that's a one-time charge though. Those they want to keep those servers running. You gotta know something about video games. $60 price point is the same now as it was like 30 years ago.
The systems are at a lower price point to get you hooked in. I do admit
systems
that.
are sold at a loss.
But
you're buying like $800 worth of hardware for $500.
True, but the extension.
I mean, except for the Switch, Nintendo always sells at a profit. But I mean, you're buying systems at either a cost or a loss.
But the controllers, all the add-on stuff, they make a profit on the add-ons.
Yeah, but
that controller doesn't cost $60.
That's a one-time fee.
Yeah. No, because controllers break and you got to replace them, or the exclusive games that you buy.
Your controllers break. I only do your controllers. My controllers are just fine.
No, Joy-Con drift. You haven't experienced that?
Yeah, clean the controller. Works now. Also, I don't use a Joy-Con. I use my my SN30 by 8-bit though. Let's do a plug. This thing is the best thing ever. I use this all the time for my Switch and gaming.
It was a classic.
Yeah, it's a great controller. I love it. They also have a Genesis one I have too.
I actually like the Switch controllers. I think they're comfortable enough. But once in a while you get the drift, and it can. I don't have it as bad as other people. I think it can be annoying.
Here, this is what I like.
Yeah.
D-pad. Especially if you're doing the NES and SNES online, Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
Services, you need a D-pad. Full stop.
All right, let's move on. Let's start it off. The Cowboy Bebop trailer, topic 2. So a trailer was released for a Netflix original movie, The Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is an anime, popular anime that fans like, and I personally have never seen the show Cowboy Bebop, but from what I saw in the trailer, I actually thought it looked pretty good. And that's coming from a person who isn't a fan, right? Dave, what about you?
I saw some of the comments. Sorry, go on.
What were your thoughts on the trailer?
Oh, I thought you cut out, so I thought you stopped talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But the trailer looked really awesome. it looked really like a funny, fun action. And John Cho doing something that's not Harold and Kumar is pretty interesting too. He's done other things too. I know. Don't comment about how ignorant I am. But the one thing though about I never watch anime, so I guess it's I never watched this show, so I guess it's kind of it looks like it would be kind of
It looks
faithful. The one thing though, the internet.
I agree. It looks
authentic.
It looks authentic to the like anime, where if you get something like Ghost in the Shell, where they had Scarlett Johansson as the main character and fans were complaining about whitewashing, this is a little more authentic to that.
Well, the one thing though, the comments seem very pessimistic. I read the comments on YouTube.
I'm going by the trailer and the visual looks. I would say that it looks like if Xena or Hercules, like those TV shows, actually had like a huge budget, this is something they would make with it. Like, because there is a cheapness to it, but I think maybe that's the effect that they're going for in a show like this. So I'm interested.
I'm interested too. It does look, and I'm coming from the position of I'm coming in fresh. I don't have any backstory, no knowledge, no history with Cowboy Bebop, except for the TV trope category, Cowboy Bebop by his computer, which is completely unrelated.
So it's set in the year 2071 and follows the lives of traveling bounty hunting crew in their spaceship called Bebop. Although it incorporates a wide variety of genres throughout its run, Cowboy Bebop draws most heavily from science fiction, Western, and noir films. And that's pretty much the tagline for the anime.
So, I mean, I'm looking a lot of fanboys in this comment section here. I'm reading the comments on, everyone's a fanboy of something. So I'm not gonna.
The plus of this, that it's on Netflix, you don't have to pay for a movie ticket. It just comes with your subscription.
Yeah.
So if it's bad, you can just turn it off halfway through. If you like it, you keep watching it.
Well, that's the bad thing though, is that the bar is higher for getting another season of it.
I don't think it's a series. I think it's just a single one-off movie.
I saw a series when I did it. Hang on. A live action series only on Netflix.
Oh,
it is a series.
That adds to it. You know what? I thought a movie would have been more fun. So a series, Netflix series.
Season 1 coming November 19th.
It's like 10 hours. It's like, 8 episodes, which you could probably condense to 4. They tend to drag them out sometimes. And then they're really good at the very last 5 minutes of the last episode.
And it has its pluses and minuses. I don't mind a series.
I would say, what was that show? Stranger Things had a habit of. They had like the filler episode with the fellow psychic. All right, our last topic of the day is the Boondock Saints 3 announcement. Dave is unfamiliar with Boondock Saints, so I will fill everyone in. Back in 1998 or 1999, this film called Boondock Saints was released and went nowhere. It didn't get a lot of marketing, wasn't a huge hit. And just kind of, I think, fulfilled a contractual obligation and fell into like the bargain bin of rental stores. But in those bargain bins, somebody discovered it, and then they shared it with their friend, who shared it with their friend, who shared it with their friend. And it gained this very cult fan base where people were like, this was a really good movie. Why didn't it do as well as it did? And within that 10-year cycle, it garnered so much of a fan base, they made a sequel, which also got very little fanfare when it was released, and no one saw it because they didn't advertise it at all. But that sequel ended on a cliffhanger, and now they've announced that they're going to be making a third one, which they had planned to make after the second one, but the second one also kind of experienced the same issues the first one did. But this time around, they're doing it again with Sean Patrick Flanery and Norman Reedus. Sean Patrick Flanery co-wrote the script, and some input was placed by Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. Sean Patrick Flanery, we all know as young Indiana Jones, who's now old Indiana Jones at this point, and Harrison Ford is ancient Indiana Jones. So there's always been rumors about this movie for a while, but it's always been kind of in pre-production hell, I suppose, development hell. And now they're really pushing ahead with it. So that might be something to look forward to. It's got a good production team behind it.
I saw the sequel is named the Boondock Saints 2 All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Terrible.
The sequel was, I think, a good effort to recreate the first movie. With a little bit of a twist. Willem Dafoe was in the films, and who else was in it? What's her name? The blonde girl from Angel, Julie Benz. She was in the sequel.
Apparently, there is some controversy. Flannery and Reedus, the actors, I guess, walked away. So Norman Reedus with Murphy McManus, and who's the other person who walked away from the third movie? Sean Patrick Flannery, Connor McManus. So Murphy and Connor, I'm just reading this off of Wikipedia, left production in 2017.
That's old news. It's back on. This was announced just a day ago. So yeah, at one point they all walked away from it because they couldn't get what they wanted. They were going to make a TV show out of it. In fact, one of the actors from my film Broken Hearted auditioned for a role in the TV show. I don't know how far he got in the process though.
Yeah, I see here. There's an update in 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're way ahead of the game.
Yeah. This is recent. This was as of a day ago. Boondocks.
Yeah, this is like fresh news.
Mm-hmm. Exciting stuff.
But, okay, well, I guess it remains to be seen how it'll hold up.
Dave,
Are you optimistic about it?
I am. I mean, I liked the first movie, and I enjoyed what they tried to do with the second movie. It's not as good as the first one, but it's nice to see the characters come back. My recommendation for you, Dave, is to watch the first one, and then try to watch the second one if you can track them down somewhere. And
I'm sure it's online.
Come back next week with your opinion.
I'm probably going to watch it in time for next week. I got a lot of things on my plate, so I'll try.
He's got a lot of N64 gaming to do with his new subscription service.
No, I'm still playing Metroid Dread, so I mean, I'm playing it again.
Ooh.
And also, I have housework to do. There's things to be fixed and things to be cleaned.
We're going to wrap up our show, I think, a little early this time, which is good for me for editing reasons.
Oh yeah, makes your life easier. Hopefully, it doesn't come out all blocky on your end.
I'll try to cut that stuff down. And that's our show, everybody. This Saturday, November 6th at 9 p.m., you can see my film Retirement Disaster at the Outer Limits Art Studio at 219 Franklin Avenue, Franklin Square, New York.
You can find me on Twitter, Dave TV Games, DAVETEEVEEGAMES. Also have a YouTube channel. The link is on that thing, I'm sure, Twitter. I just put out a video about an Atari 2600 game that I already forgot the name of, but it's weird and it's fun. And other than that, there's really not much going on in my life. So, whatever. Have fun.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Yeah. That's terrible, man.
You froze up, so I just filled it in while you were frozen.
You were frozen too, actually. You were on the other side there.
I'm assuming the recording is going to get me not frozen.
What happened?
I'm assuming the recording is just going to have you frozen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all right, well, let's hope.
boys and girls, I like to play with toys.